piece out from our guy Tim Cato in The Athletic, who joined us yesterday. The tease was Luka's best season ever. And the headline from Tim, Luka has reached MVP status, and that matters more than him actually winning it. Let's talk about this. Segment of The Nation is brought to you by Cars for Kids. Donate today, carsforkids.org, and it's brought to you by the Frankels. Life is unpredictable. Accidents happen. Frankel & Frankel, the go-to attorneys for car and truck wrecks and DFW. If you or a loved one has been in an accident, contact the Frankels, 214 or 817-333-3333. Jump online to frankelfirm.com. Yeah, you want to read Tim's stuff in The Athletic. He's incredible. He says, what Doncic has done this year has transcended his past 4 seasons in which he finished top 8 in MVP voting and made first team each time. He's no longer in the conversation of someone who deserves a mention. He has surpassed those qualifiers and reached a higher level this season. If he were the league's MVP, it would be earned. I think there's a lot of stuff that's come together for him. Not being as concerned about the officials is one. Being more focused on defense is two. You know, I think you have to look at the leadership, the head coach, and then Kyrie Irving, who he obviously has a tremendous amount of respect for. As, you know, potential catalyst. Luka coming up on 25 years old, that is big as well. I've been talking about the last couple of years. Luka's got to get this figured out when it comes to the mindset by age 25. And that is the age where the childlike portions of your brain that overpower you with emotions have receded to the point that you should be able to handle them as an adult. And, you know, some players can't grasp that. The toxicity of their competitive nature is too high. But Luka has shown incredible growth over the last, couple. So I think he deserves credit for sure, but so do the people around him. I think they finally got a great supporting cast that's capable of, helping him optimize his talents.
Also, the general managers helped him too.
Yes.
Put better players around him.
And maybe that's what focused him.
I think so. I think that, when all Luka was looking for was some commitment one way or another, and he got commitment from his GM, instead of, hey, as you would say, I'm tired of playing with these jobbers. Find me some players. And that's the one thing that Nico Harrison's been able to do is go out and find him some players. He hadn't sat on his hands, just hope that Luka's going to carry these guys. I mean, he went out and got him some legitimate players, and they've done a great job with on a nightly basis playing, as you mentioned, really good defense. The offense has always been there, and Kyrie is we all worried about what distraction was going to take him away from being one of the top basketball players in the league. We've had none of that here in Dallas. He's been totally focused. He's got the team around him focused, and he's got the superstar player Luka focused as well. But give that GM a lot of credit.
Definitely. Plenty of credit to go around. And I think when it comes to Luka, I mean, he's been so great since the moment he stepped on the court. Like, where could you get better here? And I wonder how much of it is attributed to just him being in better shape, because his 3-ball is so much better this year. I think that's really like one of the most important aspects of his game that has taken another level. Like for his career, he's 34.5% from the 3-point line. This year, he's slightly over 38%. And his step back threes, he's connecting on at a 40% clip.
Wow.
And his range, I mean, we see how his range is just ridiculous. And he's always had that in spots, but it wasn't always efficient. Like the step back 3, he's always had it as a part of his arsenal, but it wasn't nearly as efficient and effective as it is now, which is he's taking like 5 or 6 step back 3s a game, and he's making like three of them at a time. Like so like the 3-point shooting, and again, I don't know how much of that is just working on the 3-point shooting and getting better and better at it, and how much of that is I still have my legs under me at the end of these games and just throughout these games because I'm in better condition.
Right.
And I've always been able to hit these shots, but when I'm exhausted, which I have been my entire career until now, because I got a guy who's a running mate here, so I can give Kyrie the ball at times, and then also he's in better shape.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. You can't overlook it. Some other things from Tim's article. What's changed this year? Doncic doesn't have a preferred style of play. He'll adapt to the choices an opponent makes to attempt slowing him down. He'll throw lobs against a team guarding his pick and rolls with drop coverage. He'll put on a scoring show in isolation against teams that switch. He'll sling audacious passes around the court for anything else. Once his only weakness was an inconsistent jumper, but now he's second only to Steph Curry there with the 3-ball. He leads the league in points and true shooting percentage of 61.7. And when teammates shoot from a Doncic pass, the percentage they've expected to shoot based on per second Spectrum's tracking data, a 57.9 effective field goal percentage is the league's highest mark. So how do you measure how good a point guard is at creating chances? Assists is one way, but the true shooting percentage of the guy who catches it. How great of an opportunity are you giving him? How perfect are you delivering the pass so he can catch and shoot smoothly? And how much attention are you taking away from the rest of the defense onto you? All those things are accounted for in that stat right there. And, it's number one. So, I think, the biggest thing is Kyrie Irving being a secondary superstar. Like, what has changed this team's outlook? It's Kyrie Irving. You saw James Harden in Houston by himself, and then they had 1 year of like prime Chris Paul. They damn near took down the Warriors. They had him 3-2 that year in Houston, right? And in the Harden-Luka comparison, even if they're not exactly one-for-one comparisons, the situations that they're in, those Rockets compared to these Mavs are very, very similar. But yeah, Luka probably not going to win the MVP is the other thing that Tim's hinting at here. A lot of people are starting to say that is probably not this year, maybe going to Jokic, who may have a better year and has his team as number one in the West, but his time is coming soon enough.
Even bigger chip on the shoulder for the playoff run. That's what I'm calling. And shout out to Big E in the 4-3-2. Luka went from reds to lights, and that's made all the difference.
Yeah, dude. I remember when Rasheed Wallace came back to training camp one year, I was covering the Trailblazers, and he looked slim, and a reporter asked him, "You get in shape this offseason?" He goes, "No, I switched to Heineken Lights."